Geometry Dash. Does that sound familiar to you? Chances are that you've either played it on your phone long time ago or seen a couple YouTube videos that randomly gets recommended. Perhaps you belong to the 90% of players that gave up before even beating half of the main levels? And if so, I feel bad for you, because you're missing out on so much content. See, Geometry Dash has this wonderful tool that we like to call the level editor, which lets anyone build their own custom levels. While GD only contains 21 main levels created by the game developer, the amount of custom levels that exist in this game is mind-blowing, as well as the quality of them. This game is just simply amazing, but I can't help but feel like people don't give it an honest try because of how difficult it is. Now here's where I come in. I'd love to teach you guys how to improve at Geometry Dash so that you can gain access to all of these amazing levels and experience the best version of GD. I'm by no means the best player to ever touch this game, but I like to view myself as experienced, as I've dedicated a whopping 5,000 hours of my life to left-clicking my mouse in this one game. So, allow me to prepare you for your grind. Let's get started. Okay, so tap your screen to jump, or if you're on PC, left-click to jump. That's it, really. Do I really need to explain this? You are going to have to prepare yourself a bit mentally before you start playing GD. This game is designed to make you rage. It's supposed to be hard. The whole concept of Geometry Dash is basically avoid all obstacles and make it to the end of each level, but if you die, you start over. No checkpoints. And I think you can imagine the frustration that comes with that. A motivator that I like to use for this is that Geometry Dash becomes a lot more enjoyable the further into the game you get. The learning curve is incredibly steep and the first portion of your playthrough will be the hardest one. But when you start to grasp the physics of the game, like how high the cube jumps, how the ship moves, everything will become a lot easier. So do not give up because you're not instantly amazing at this game, because no one is. The main levels of Geometry Dash are the perfect way of introducing you to all of the different game modes, orbs and portals. Each level gets increasingly harder and teaches you new things the further you get. This is in my opinion the best way to start out, as GD offers 21 main levels, all ranging from easy up to demon difficulty. What I want you to do here is beat all the main levels except the 3 demons. The reason for this is that demon is the hardest difficulty in the game, and the jump from insane to demon is very big and can be quite overwhelming. There are custom levels that are easier than the ones provided in the main levels, but I will explain more about that later in the video. So let's teach you how to practice. If you press the escape button while inside a level, you will find the practice mode. This is the most effective tool to improve at GD, as you can place respawn points throughout the entire level. For some reason, a lot of new players decide to completely skip this and just play the level from 0% without any practicing methods. Probably because they want to be cool or something, I don't know. This leads to a lot more frustration than necessary, and I'd highly advise against it. So how do we use practice mode? Well, when you start playing a new level, you'd want to go into practice mode immediately and first of all disable auto checkpoints. If you don't, then the game will automatically place them for you and they'll end up in bad spots all the time. So then play through the level while placing the checkpoints so that you can see what the entire level looks like. On your first practice run, keep in mind what parts of the level are the most difficult to you. Then simply just place a checkpoint where you're struggling and replay that one part until you can consistently beat it. Geometry Dash is all about consistency. As I mentioned before, if you die, you restart from the very beginning. So to beat a level, you have to play flawlessly. And that is why I cannot stress enough how important practice mode is. Don't skip out on this one. Ideally, you'd want to spend about 50 to 75% of your time in practice mode. It might sound like a lot, but it will definitely be worth it. If regular practice like this still doesn't do it for you, then you can implement runs into your strategy. This is a method that is generally used for harder demon levels, but it doesn't hurt to implement it early on into the game. The method involves dividing each level into sections, either by percentage or by game modes, and then doing runs from each section all the way to the end. Okay, that might sound a bit weird, but let me give you an example. First, you'll have to enable the respawn button here in the options menu, as this lets you replay from the last place checkpoint. Before hitting the finish line, pause your game and respawn, because if you finish a level in practice mode, you will be sent all the way back to the start again. So here's me, playing Time Machine. What I'll do is place a checkpoint at the final ship section, beat that a couple times until I feel comfortable. Then remove my checkpoint and place it further back, like at this cube for an example. Now I'll try to beat both the cube and the ship together a couple of times. and when I'm comfortable with that, moving back even further, until you reach the halfway point of the level. This is usually where you have to decide for yourself if you want to keep moving the checkpoint back or start playing normal mode instead. Runs like 20% to 100 is usually not necessary, as that is almost just like beating the level normally. You see, there isn't a whole lot of technical things that you need to know about Geometry Dash. This game is fairly simple. Your performance heavily relies on your muscle memory and your mindset really, so no matter what difficulty you're playing at, practice is always the key to success. Congratulations, you've just beaten all of the main levels except the 3 demons. Like I mentioned earlier, the jump between insane levels and demons is quite big, so to help you with that, I've created what I like to call the Geometry Dash Demon Progression, or GDDP for short. It is a carefully crafted list of demon levels divided into different tiers of difficulty. And the whole idea with this project is to give you guys a path to follow and an effective way to improve at the game. Ideally, you'd want to complete each tier in order, starting at beginner and then moving down. To complete a tier, you have to beat the required amount of levels as listed next to the tier name. So for the beginner tier, this amount is 10. You do not have to beat every level in order, and you can pick levels depending on what kind of skill set you're struggling with. For example, the Demon Problematic offers you improvement mainly in the wave game mode, and Fjork lets you practice fast-paced gameplay. I recommend new players to practice all of their skill sets. You will become a much better player if you can adapt to all of the different kinds of gameplay and game modes. Eventually, when you're going through this list, you will encounter the main demon levels that we skipped earlier, as Club Step and Theory of Everything 2 is placed in the beginner tier and Deadlocked in the bronze tier. At this point, you should have all the tools and experience you need to venture on and beat any level that you want, and I want to wish you the best of luck on your grinds. I hope you guys are able to enjoy this game as much as I do. I understand that this type of game is not for everyone, but if you're a fan of self-improvement and competing against yourself, then this game should suit you perfectly. Feel free to ask questions in the comments and let me know if these methods are working for you. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe and check out my other Geometry Dash content.